Interesting.
All right. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Heart of the Sea. This is episode 17, guys. We've made it. 17 episodes.
That's crazy.
I mean, it kind of is.
It feels like we haven't had a session since last year.
Ha
Uh-huh.
ha ha. All right. Well, given that it's been a few weeks, I forgive you guys if you have forgotten anything, or maybe never did your notes or things like that. But for what you remember, why don't we? I'm just gonna go from how it appears here in Discord. Abby, why don't you tell us about what? Give us Dragona's perspective of last session.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Might skip. Go to Alex. I'll come right back. I'll be right back.
Alex, give us Tilia's perspective of last session.
Sorry, I gotta. My push to talk is the letter T, and I just started writing a bunch of T's in my notes.
I see that. I was like, what is he doing?
He's playing the famous Gary's mod game mode, Trouble in Terrorist Town.
So the main thing that Tilia, pretty much the thing she was there for, besides, like Kazar should cover his wacky fun visions. But Masarai, I think is that how you pronounce
Masarai. And you have it spelled
Masarai.
super incorrect.
Yeah.
Look at my spelling. It's much better.
There you go. There you go.
But he is a rival baron that's offering us a pretty slick deal. But
He's not a baron.
no, he's not a baron.
No.
Not Baron. You're on the right track. He's one of the things. He is the false herald.
And he has been declared false. And hey, like, he's put his life in your guys' hands. I think I'm gonna give Alex a minute to collect their thoughts.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
And we will move down again to Anthony. We have a lot of A's right in a row.
We do, yeah. Is it? I wonder if it's in alphabetical order or something.
It is.
Ah, neat. Okay. So there was a lot of stuff going on with Masaray. You described Masaray as sort of he looks as if he was a homeless musketeer. Like, he wants to look fancy, but really he's just like gross and smelly and nasty and dirty.
Well, that was at the time. I'll actually here. I have an image. I will throw it up on stream. Of the man in question. That became huge. Why did it do that?
Bro, that's a nice forehead.
Right? Right? I don't know why it just became so massive. Massive Masaray. There you go.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, massive Masaray. He's a huge boy.
He's got some sexy eyes.
Yeah, there he is.
There he is.
Make me blush a little bit.
Yeah. This is what Masaray looks like on the stream.
I like it.
Okay, well, if he looked like that, then maybe I'd give him a hand.
But yes, at the time, Masaray was very smelly, but now he's very smexy.
Yeah, he's cleaned up a little bit.
You can be smelly and sexy too.
True. So immediately, upon laying eyes on him, the voice in Jurgen's head started saying like, "You need to kill him. You need to kill him. You need to kill him." Did not want me to befriend him, and so I was like, maybe I should befriend him. uh, Masare immediately realized that Jurgen was hearing the voice and actually complimented him, saying like, "Hey, good on you for like shoving that down because I struggle doing that sometimes." Uh, hearing that he was a false herald, Jurgen was under the belief that he was literally just walking around using the title. Uh, but now he knows like this dude's the real deal, has some of the powers, has the voice. There's a lot of stuff going on, and he doesn't really understand what is making this guy a false herald as opposed to Jurgen. What if Jurgen is also a false herald? He's got a lot of stuff in his head. But Jurgen and the rest of the crew have agreed to keep Masare safe, as long as Masare will help us just in general, and also potentially teach Jurgen how to control some of his powers a little bit better. There was a lot more stuff, but I'll pass it on to someone else.
Yeah, that was pretty good. We're just going to keep going on down the list. Blake, give us...
Can I just say I hate following up Anthony because Anthony always shows everyone up in these.
Do better.
Hey, I left some stuff for people to fill in.
Listen here.
Yeah, like if anything happened, or if there's anything you want to add from like your character's perspective, how they're feel, like just add it. Like.
Yeah, I don't know as far as that goes, but I do know that Vapour is pretty much dead set on killing a man. So there's that. After Masare, I do remember that Masare said that he could potentially help Jurgen with whatever he has going on mentally. What else did I write down? Hold on.
And we wait.
And the only other thing I have written down is that Andon told me and Z that the guy who who Vapour is dead set on killing was the guy who hired him to be here in the first place. So
things are getting kind of crazy.
So things are getting spicy. Oh, and I did try to sneak away, but people caught me before that could happen.
All right. Let's get Z's perspective.
I honestly don't know what else to add. I guess, yeah, there was that thing of Andon. I mean, mostly just I kind of sat in the background for a lot of what Anthony already said, but then my plot with Andon and Vapour, we went out, confronted our dad, and then he was like, this guy sent me to kill Jurgen, and he sees us and his eyes everywhere. Then we got into a little tense family situation, and then Vapour's like, yeah, I'll just go, or Z's like, yeah, I'll just go with Vapour to kill the guy, and then we got caught and had a little soiree of planning and deciding we're just gonna let him come to us, and we're gonna go conquer the islands one at a time. So that's fun.
And last but not least, Kazar.
only thing I think to add is that Kazar is just certain this is exactly where he needs to be. The hands of fate are moving forward, and he thinks he's doing he's serving his purpose by being here to see this and help it reach whatever conclusion it's going to reach.
And the last detail that I'll add is we've decided that the only way that we can really move forward, if any of us are to reach this destiny that Kazar keeps talking about, is by doing what we're meant to do, and that currently appears to be unite the islands. So we were getting ready to head to Fellwood, as it is the closest and smallest island nearby, in hopes to either unite with them or take them. Whichever comes first.
I think one more thing to add to that is that we established that we need to stop hiding from each other and try to work more as a collective unit rather than individual parties.
And then Vin Diesel showed up and said, "Family."
Vin Diesel.
Vin D's nuts.
True. Okay, yeah. And we're not going to pick up immediately with the party's plans moving forward. Instead, I would like to start with the person who went to bed first in their drunken stupor over their grief and the loss of one Jimmy. And that is Tilia.
Well, at least Dragona tucked me into bed.
But we don't see Tilia as she is. Older, a little more stoic, more defined lines on her face that have come from 20 extra years of age. We have a younger Tilia, much more youthful. Her muscles, I would say, probably a lot more defined, like definitely kind of in her prime.
Mm-hmm.
You
less time sitting around on ships.
Yep, less time sitting around on ships, more time practicing, fighting, earning as much d'or for your Toram as possible. And you are with your husband, Skull, setting down your only 7-month-old daughter at this point into her bed. He looks at you with a very soft smile. He's got very hard features, so seeing him smile is this, like, it's very pretty to you, is what I would say. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
Yeah. And even though Tilia is quite imposing to the rest of the crew, her husband, being an orc, is still significantly larger than even her. And she reaches up and touches him on the cheeks with her calloused hands.
Yeah. He puts his arms around your waist and kind of pulls you closer, and he says, "Every time I look at our little girl, I can't help but feel pride. She will bring us much d'or. I know it, Tilia."
It goes without saying.
When she picks her name, the world will have to watch out for her. Did you see the way she grabbed my fingers? She's got the grip of a bear.
Well, let's hope she takes a little more after you, and she can have a better chance at having a brain cell or two.
He kind of like that soft smile he gave you kind of turns into a grin, and he says, "She'll probably be as stubborn as you."
Don't make me regret bringing her into this world now. Perhaps it wouldn't be such a bad thing.
He just laughs and kind of like slides his hands like up your sides and up your arms and kind of like grabs your hands. Just like yours, his hands are very calloused and they're big, strong warrior hands. He says, Lauren is being raised a chief tomorrow, Tilia. I know you've never been to one of these ceremonies before, but you're one of us now. You're part of the Turam.
Yeah, Tilia will give a wide smile and a sharp nod. Well, I'll be ready for whatever comes.
There'll be others there, raising their own chiefs, and you being a human, well, some of them may challenge you. They'll see you as an outsider. To them, outsiders aren't subject to our rules. They're all wrong, of course. Everything abides by Iandor. But just promise me you won't rise to any challenges, okay?
I can hold my temper if the occasion comes for it. I know this is serious. And it would be nothing new. People have been treating me as an outsider here since I've arrived.
Just
But
promise me.
I promise I'll behave. I will not rise in anger. Period.
And then we cut to the moment that promise was broken. Why don't you describe to me the event? What did Osram do that provoked Tilia?
Well, I'm sure it would have started off with just the general fantasy racism. You know, calling just the name calling, which is nothing new. Tilia would respond back with at least some of her own, but eventually he might have started getting a little too personal. Maybe I started getting a little tired of his threats to not only myself, but my newborn daughter. I didn't mean to kill him.
You know, the spear is just ultimately a long piece of wood with just a sharp metal piece at the end. You know, maybe you meant to hit him with the heft of it, and instead that tip just caught his throat.
I just wanted him to shut up. I don't know.
And when he fell to his knees, gurgling wetly as blood kind of passes between his fingers, Skull's words echo in the back of your head. Just promise me. And your own voice in reply. When Osram's body falls, and all the spectators are silent, staring at you.
Tilia just stands there looking for a skull.
Yeah,
Can
you
she at least find him?
you kind of stop, turn around, you're looking, scanning the crowd. You don't see Skull, and then you hear from the ground, from where Osram lay, Tilia.
Just still standing upright, she'll look down.
Yeah, you turn, you look, and it is not Osram that lays on the ground, but Jimmy. Blood covering his shirt, that same hole in his chest.
Dropping her spear, or throwing it to the ground, she'll drop down to her hands and knees, trying to stem Jimmy's blood flow. Immediately forgetting the crowd.
With a blood-covered hand, Jimmy presses it against the side of your face that holds the mark. And he says, "It's not your fault, but you have someone else to make up for a lot of lost time."
What? Just... I don't want to lose you too, Jimmy.
I'll always be with you. And they're closer than you think. And the life behind Jimmy's eyes goes out, and that is when Tilia wakes up in the morning. Blood is oozing out of the bandages on your face.
Tilia will sit up with a start and then just to throw up over the side of her bed.
Yep, the world just kind of spins into focus, and it is nauseating. But the light filters in through the window. It is... You've slept all night.
Oh. With a sigh, she'll gather some rags and clean up her mess. Start getting ready for the day. It's not the first time she'll have that nightmare, and won't be the last.
Jurgen.
What's up?
Given the events that are going to be happening today, just how does Jurgen prepare for this coming venture?
Well, Jurgen, for the most part, more than physically, Jurgen would be preparing mentally for what's to come. You know, he may have been a higher up, you know, back when he was still more militaristic, but he was never a leader. And now he's the leader of one place and is starting to call the shots that he never thought he would call in his life. So we'd kind of walk in on Jurgen pacing back and forth in his room, sort of thinking of all the different situations. You know, he's closing his eyes and he's picturing it, and he's applying faces to these people that he's never seen before. You know, he goes in and he sees a vision of him and this person that he's created in his mind shaking hands and uniting, and then the next vision, same exact person, but with their head on the ground, as he just had to cut them down. Jurgen doesn't know what's to come, but he's trying to think of everything so that he can be prepared for anything. Otherwise, it's his crew that he relies on the most. And so, as long as they're all kind of getting prepared, he has nothing to fear for. After a while, he would start kind of like packing up. If there's anything that's kind of been sitting around, he would grab the little odds and ends and eventually just start walking around trying to find everyone and see who's ready to go.
Who does he look for first?
I feel like first he would look for Kazar.
Okay. Where can he find Kazar?
In the morning? Or are we still? Have we left the? We haven't left the island yet.
Nope, it is like basically first thing in the morning.
Okay. So in the kind of shrine in the castle, doing his morning meditation.
Okay. In that case, Jurgen has met with you there before, so I'd say he would guess you would be there. Jurgen would walk in and see you. How does Kazar meditate? Is it traditional sit on the floor, eyes closed, like?
Depends on sometimes it depends on the place. Like if the shrine if the shrine here is more like a church where it's got pews on the side, he might be like sitting on like one of the front pews with his, you know, head down, eyes closed in that stance, or kneeled in front of the altar. It's not always the same, but one of the usual stances you'd think of. Right now, he's probably kneeled in front of the altar, the shrine itself.
Well, Jurgen would walk in and he would see you sitting down, meditating, praying, and he wouldn't want to like interfere or interrupt, but he would definitely go and kneel down beside you, and just sit silently for a bit. Partly trying to gain a little bit of faith himself, and partly waiting for you to be done.
Okay. Probably, 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes. He lifts his head and turns towards you. Good morning, Jurgen.
Good morning. It's gonna be a weird day, isn't it?
Depends on what you find weird.
That's fair. I suppose we've had a lot of weird recently. gonna be a different day.
It is always a different day.
Jurgen would sit and like he has his eyes closed, his hands balled and kind of to his forehead. It's almost looks like a praying position. He says, "Kazar, can I ask you a personal question?"
Certainly.
What god do you worship? Are there many? Is there one?
He thinks about that for a moment and says, before finding the faith I have now, back when I was still a noble in Fellwood, I paid homage to most of the Pantheon, as most do, but I didn't pay homage to any specific one more than the others. I was focused more on family than faith.
I respect that.
Afterwards, I came into the faith of the fated one. I think that's the
Mhm.
terminology.
Yep, that was it exactly. Yeah.
He would like you'd see him. His eyes are still closed. His hands are still balled, but he starts doing kind of a slow nod, and he says, "So just as we've seen this whole time, your entire belief runs entirely off of fate."
Mm. Yes and no. We believe that everyone's fate is ultimately in their own hands. The choices they make influence their fate, but there are certain fixed points where something happens that alters the fate of everything around them. They make a choice that is far greater than themselves. These individuals, as I've said before, are called wild cards. Sometimes they live long enough to reach that point. Sometimes they do not, and the choice is never made. We take it upon ourselves to watch and help make sure that they survive long enough to be able to be in that fated moment and make their choice. But we do not make that choice for them.
So it all ends up turning out as it's supposed to be, even without the intervention.
How it's supposed to be depends on the choice that you make.
Go ahead.
He kind of searches for the words. We can't know what effect our choices will have. but that doesn't mean the choice is entirely within our. The choice isn't entirely within our power to make. It's an interesting conundrum, that. Ultimately, there's no such thing as the choice you're supposed to make. But you should have the choice.
Jurgen's eyes would you'd see them kind of crack open and look over your way, and he says, even if there is no real right choice, do you feel
What
we're
makes a
making the
choice
best
right?
choice right now? I suppose that depends on every different person. What I feel is right, what you feel is right, is all different. I have always followed... Robert, is it Disoy or Disoy?
It's neither now, actually. That part of the lore got changed. It is...
Oh, nifty.
Her name is now Jura. Same concept.
I like that name even better. How's that spelled?
Jura, like jury, just with an A instead of a Y.
Jurgen says, you know, I used to be a lot like you. I acknowledged the whole pantheon, but I never allowed them to sway me in any way, because I too focused on my family. But once I got into my prior position, I began following the teachings of Jura. I believed that everything needed to come to order. Everything needed to be equal, balanced, calm. That's what I feel is right. And right now, all of the Isles, they aren't calm. And so, right now, I'm following my calling. I just hope that that is maybe not the right calling, but the best calling that I can make. And he looks down and goes silent for a minute, and he looks back at you, kind of reflecting on the conversation from the day prior. And he says, "Stay peaceful until violence is entirely necessary, right?"
That is what you've all decided.
I hope we're right. Are you ready for this trip?
Kizar nods.
As am I. I should probably go try to find the others. Make sure they're all up and ready. Especially Tilia. She seemed a little out of it yesterday. Would you like to join, or shall I leave you be for a bit?
My meditation is finished for the morning. I'll join you.
Excellent. I appreciate the company. And Jurgen would head off to try to find Tilia.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, in what state does he find Tilia?
exercising. You'd almost think there was nothing wrong with her at all besides the deep bags under her eyes. So, wherever there's a loop that's gonna be good to run laps around, that's what Tilia's doing. So she might run into you.
Fair enough. I'm curious, Robert, who do you think would find who first?
That you guys decide that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Tilia would probably bump into Jurgen. Especially if you're out running. Jurgen doesn't know where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine you're a pretty sturdy dude. So when I bump into you, not a whole lot happens. I just kind of bump my shin.
uh, yeah,
Sorry, Jorgen.
he would put a hand on your shoulder and say, that's just fine. You're usually a little more alert than that, though. You feeling okay?
Yeah, just nothing but a hangover. Nothing a good run doesn't fix.
That would certainly do it. Well, maybe I should start getting back into this routine. I don't think these muscles are gonna keep themselves going too much longer.
All right, well, maybe I can. I'll run by your quarters first thing in the morning. I'll wake you up and you can come along with me.
I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, but if there was nothing else.
Well, as a matter of fact, I was on my way to try to find you.
Tilia will stop, like, jogging in place and actually, stand still and listen to you. Yeah, of course. What do you need?
He would look at you and say, "Well, it's no new news. I'm just trying to kind of get everybody prepared and ready to get out for the day. Yo, sun's already rising. I'd like to be out before it's up at high noon."
Yeah, sure. I can finish up by then. So, well, how do you feel? We doing the right thing?
Jurgen would look to Kazar, thinking about the conversation they just had, and he says, "I think we're doing the best thing."
Path of minimal harm and least resistance. I agree. But, if there happens to be some resistance, I can help take care of that.
I think we'll need all the help we can get, Tilia. Any chance you've seen the others today?
Oh, up and around, I think. Well. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. I'm going to continue my exercises. Sure, you can find them.
I'm sure I can. As you sort of start to jog off, he says, "Tomorrow morning, right?"
Just before sunup.
Just
See you
before
then.
sunup. And Jurgen would just kind of continue this path going through, trying to find everyone. Just kind of saying, "Hey, we got to go before it starts getting too late in the day."
Okay. Well, in that case, I would like to turn our attention to Vapour.
Hello.
Hello, indeed. I'm
It's
going
also a
to
good sentence.
I'm going to change my ambience here really quick.
Of course you are. You
Do-do-do-do.
fool.
It's a Halloween theme.
Oh. I will change it to this. Nope, nah, it's a little too light. No. I will change it to this. I posted the link in the Discord.
Excellent. I want it.
It lurks in darkness.
Feels atmospheric.
Vapour, you... I'm going to say at this point you are not quite awake. You have been... You've been through quite a lot the past few days. And it's in your sleep with the blinds drawn that you are not awoken by sunlight filtering its way through. You are not awoken by Jurgen popping his head in. You are not awoken by some servant daring to come in to try to clean. No, you feel a presence in your room.
Yeah, I sit up and start looking around.
Your loyalties shift so easily. One called Vapour. What is so enchanting about them that it changes your alignment?
Who's there? I ignored its question.
You know who I am. We've spoken before.
Show yourself.
I am all around you.
Is this one of those shadow things that I've spoken to before?
Yep, it has a name.
Oh. I can't remember its name. Oh no. Did I write down its name? What session was that?
Oh, it was a long
Yes.
time ago.
What session was that I spoke to this thing? Oh no.
You know what? I don't think I was taking
Oh
notes for you at
no.
that point.
I go, oh, it's you. Please remind me your name.
I will tell you that it is probably about 9 sessions ago.
It was the thing that was literally just a bunch of sounds, right?
No.
No? That
No,
was
no,
something
no.
different?
That was something different. This thing was like 9 sessions ago.
I don't know if I wrote it down. So that would have been like sessions. Like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9 sessions ago, I was talking about Doctor Doom with the Tims.
I did write it down.
Dr.
Ah.
Tim's.
I still hate
I
you for
do
that.
not know how to. I do not know how to say.
It was such a good description.
Is it anathema?
That's pretty close. Anathema.
Anathema. I was close. Ah, I was so
Oh,
close.
I had to have
I did
one of
write.
those.
I did write it down.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to give this to you for free, considering that you are aligned with the shadows, as it were. It's not lying. The blinds are drawn. The candles that were lit at night have burned out. What very little light there is filters in through under your doorway. And in this type of environment, anathema is quite powerful indeed. And you see, instead of seeing just plain black shadows, you see, the small masses and tatters of whatever parts of it are active and moving, just kind of, swirling and squirming all around the room. It is quite literally all around you.
Okay. Oh, anathema, it's you.
That it is.
I don't think it's really one thing per se. I think it's more of just. I don't know where I fit into this world anymore. And I'm trying to figure it out. So she pauses. Different than everyone else. That I just have a hard time fitting in. And I feel like they think less of me for it sometimes.
You must remember. There is more to life than fitting in. One called Vapour.
I know. But like I said, I am not sure what that is anymore. I thought I knew, but now I am uncertain.
I am no friend to you. nor am I a friend to they who give me commands.
Understood.
But you interest me. So I will give you a reminder. Your contract is still there. Fail in your task, and there will be no comfort in shadows anymore.
I'm surprised he hasn't already thrown it away.
That is not how they function. I can sever your contract, but this will require remuneration.
What do you mean?
It will cost.
Cost what?
You will lose touch with the shadows, but you will be free.
I don't know if I want to be free.
If you do nothing, the contract will kill you.
I'm fully aware.
Bluff
So
how
it's
you
either-
like.
So it's his life or mine, right? That's how this works.
There can only be one and not the other, one called Vapour.
What about the one you're aligned? What happens if something happens to him?
I am unsure. Such has never happened.
Interesting.
I will return in a few days' time. If you've chosen to take my offer. Then we can work out the terms.
I see.
I don't think you do. And it, like, you see the tatters of shadow just break apart and almost dissolve as they hurriedly slide underneath your door and out.
Okay, so to simplify that for my notes, for the sake of my notes.
Nope, you write down the whole thing in full.
Why do you hate me?
I don't.
Essentially,
He's
just
offering you
means-
he's offering you an out.
he's offering me an out.
You can give up your contract. However, I will say on stream for the record here that this is an opportunity for you. If you take him up on his contract, we will change your class from Shadowcaster to Warlock.
Interesting. Okay.
Or you can remain as a Shadowcaster, but there'll be negatives to both. But the biggest obvious negative is it's going to be difficult to be around a certain party member.
Okay. So my options are take him up on his offer or continue to try and kill Jurgen.
And then the third option is see what happens if you happen
Third
to.
option is kill Darian and see what the heck happens.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay.
And I expect a decision by the end of this session.
Okay.
Hey, Jurgen.
What's up?
You'll open Vapour's door and check in on her. She's sitting up in her bed.
Okay. Jurgen would walk in and say, "Man, is it always this dark in here?"
She'll stare at you and blink a couple times. And then glance around the room.
I want you to make a fortitude save really quick, Vapour.
Okay.
Damn, okay. Yeah, like, with Anathema's words kind of echoing in your head about your contract, that you have like a blossoming of pain kind of behind your eyes, but you like squint, you rub with the bottoms of your hands, and that pain slowly fades.
Yeah, it is. It's. I keep it dark.
Well, if you ever need like a candle or something, I'm sure somebody could provide that for you. Anyhow, good morning. I was just kind of making sure you were awake. Well, everyone's awake, not just you. Sorry, my head's all over the place right now. But I'm trying to get prepared to head to Fellwood.
Yeah. Sounds good. I'll be ready to go.
Jurgen would just like give a little nod of the head and go to walk out, but then he would stop with the door like sort of half cracked, um, it, before taking another step in, and he says, "Vapour, I know we had a very rocky start, but I'm really happy that we've sort of started to turn this new leaf."
She'll nod at you and give you a half smile. While holding back tears. But you can't see that unless you look really hard.
It's too dark. But he would say, we might not know where your arch nemesis is, but we'll get him. Okay?
We need to find him soon. Sooner rather than later.
Well, here's to hoping. There's a whole world out there, and we don't know where he could be. My guess is he'll find us before we find him, but when that time comes, we'll be ready.
I hope so.
As do I. And then he steps out, closes the door, just kind of putting it back where it was before.
Yeah, as soon as she knows that you're gone and like has walked away, she just starts bawling.
Okay. Why don't we shift our perspective one more time to Dragona?
All right.
Yeah. So, Dragona, what are you doing on this morning? Some big things are about to happen. Give us Dragona's perspective here.
Yeah, so knowing that there's a lot of knowing that we are going to be going out and basically trying to treaty with other people, she knows that there's probably going to be like danger, right? So she's definitely sharpening up her weapon and preparing for what's to come. Even though Jurgen says that it's all the like peace, you always got to be ready for the fight. So she's gonna be preparing her blade, practicing a few moves before, freshening up. Got to be on your toes.
Yeah. And while you're practicing, like I assume you find like a large clear space, maybe outside in the sun, where you can swing your sword around without having to really worry about damaging something or someone, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. From behind you, you hear somebody clear their throat.
She'd slowly bring down her weapon and turn to face whoever it is.
It is Monsieur Masseret.
Jagrona's still iffy on this guy. Jurgen trusts him, so she's like just going with it, but she's not gonna fully trust him. She's gonna kind of stick her sword into her sheath and
He goes, oh,
just say,
no, by all means. Actually, I do quite a similar ritual in the morning. Would you perhaps like to be sparring partners?
Oh, Jagrona give like an inquisitive look and take her sword back out and say I'd never turned down an opportunity like that.
Excellent. And yeah, I'm going to find a battle map for you two. I'll just use the same little freaking balcony one that we've been using for now, because you guys are still at the castle. So we get... Gonna copy. And paste. Then library. Where is Master Race token? There it is. Can everybody see?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Can... There we go. I've switched the stream over as well, though I think it is a little off because of the overlay. What's this? Yeah, that works. Can you control your token? Yep, awesome. Okay.
Yes.
I'm assuming non-lethal damage unless Dragona's feeling like being an assassin.
No. No.
Do it.
Dragona's like, I don't vibe. I'm gonna kill him.
There is no honor in that.
True. True. We stand Dragona on this stream. Very honorable lady. Alright, go ahead and roll initiative. Make sure you have your token selected too, by the way.
Oh yeah, you gotta like click on your token first, and then
3.
Oof.
I think he can beat that. It'll be close. It'll be
gotta
close.
check. That's not a crit fail.
He got an 8. So, starting off slow. Like, this isn't a serious bout. So, there's no need to be so quick on the draw, as the kids say. Yeah. So he'll go first. He has a, despite his very, musketeer exterior, he does not fight with a rapier or a thin blade. He actually has a long sword.
Oh, mama.
That he wields with 2 hands. Go ahead and give me, actually, since Dragona would be familiar. Do you have... I'm going to list off 3 skills, okay? If you have Appraise, if you have Knowledge Local, or if you have... Actually, no, I think those 2, yeah.
No, I don't.
It's okay. If Appraise does not have an asterisk next to it for you, that means you can roll it untrained. So go ahead and roll that.
Yahoo!
2 crits in a row so far in this game.
We are a very crit savvy group.
Yeah, so Maseray's sword is, like, you notice it's got a green hue to it, and down by the hilt there is a there's an etching of a hawk. And you would know, being from the west side of the world, that is that side's equivalent of signifying that blade belongs to a blade master.
Yeah, that would make her nervous, but that wouldn't stop her at all.
And he's going to come in. Let's see. Does a 21 hit?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the first attack. Does a 16 hit?
No.
16 does not hit.
Because the AC is 16.
Oh, meets it,
right?
no, meets it, beats it.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Then he does hit.
Okay. That one definitely misses. It is a 15. So 2 of his attacks get in on you. And remember, this damage is non-lethal. So you are not actually taking it. But once you hit, if he does enough non-lethal damage to equal your current HP, you fall unconscious. Just so you're aware.
Oh, jeez.
You take 21 points of damage. Non-lethal damage. He gets you with the flat of the blade. Like, the first one gets you really strongly, just kind of like to the side of your head and kind of like staggers you. But the second one is like across your shoulders, but you gather yourself and you're able to dodge the last one.
So swift.
Yeah. That
It
would
is.
leave her not shaken at all. She would,
It is your turn.
yeah. She would just... She has a blade of fire, so, she would, use that to her advantage with, like... She wouldn't hurt him with it, obviously, but she would use it as, like, a distraction as she, like, went for him.
Okay. Go for it. Make your attack and or attacks. You might have 2 at this level. The 21 hits. The 18 does not. Do you have more than 2, or is it just 2? Alex, you're right there. You can look at her sheet. If you go under stats, and then I just moved it for you. No, you have 2. Okay, so I'll only count those first 2. It's wherever your base attack is under stats, If the number's a 6, you only have 2 attacks. When it reaches 12, you'll have 3. When it reaches 18, you'll have 4.
I don't know where you're looking right now.
If you go under stats and then look underneath your saving throws, you'll see spell resist, power resist, arcane spell failure, and then right underneath that is base attack.
Gotcha. Okay.
Alright, first one hits, and that deals a good little bit of damage. He kind of like, his brow kind of sets as he's like, I gotta treat this a little more seriously. And if that is your turn, it is now his.
Yeah, she wouldn't step away at all. She would definitely lean more into it, undeterred.
Yep. His first attack hits you. His second attack misses. And his third attack misses. You take 9 more points. But yeah, like you're kind of getting used to his flow, right? Like it doesn't take you too long. He gets you one more time, but then you see the other 2 coming. It is your turn again.
Yeah, she would do the same. She would come in pretty hot, seeing that he kind of realizes that she means business, you know, and would swing again. Oof.
First one misses, but the second one hits.
And you're going to see, like, how he's doing.
Yeah, give me a... I'll let you choose, either spot or survival.
Ooh, okay.
He's doing very, very good at not showing that he's bothered. But if you had a scale, right, he's most definitely not bloodied, and he's not even halfway.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good.
Like he's still got plenty of steam or gas in the tank, you know, steam in the engine. No, it's his turn, by the way. And I want you to make me a reflex save.
Sorry, I'm giving Abby bad advice.
You unfortunately fail. He, like, when he comes in, he feints you out. So you raise your greatsword to come up and try to defend. And instead of blocking or deflecting his blow, he actually knocks you down by getting you on the, like, right behind the knee. And his other 2 attacks, they hit. The third one being a critical hit.
Drona is gonna be shaken up by this. She's just gonna raise her hands up and say, "Peace, peace,"
Well, I mean,
and kind of like slowly get up and like dust herself off.
I'm gonna tell you the damage you would have taken. The first one, it would have been a measly 9. But the crit, that's double eights. The crit would have been 30 points of damage.
Yowza.
I would have been left with 17.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like as soon as you raise your hands, he like, immediately retracts his blade. And he will extend a hand down towards you.
Dragona will hesitantly accept it.
You fight pretty well, if a little, and please do not take this as an insult, undisciplined.
Yeah, well, I didn't have a mom, so
She'd
goes,
give him a hesitant look and be like, when you grow up in the tribe I did,
no.
that's not what you need.
By all means, it keeps people on their toes. And he gives you a smile, and I want you to roll a sense motive on this. The only thing you glean is that when he smiles, like, it was something that was missed, probably by the merriment that was happening last night, but when he smiles, it doesn't reach his eyes. It doesn't seem genuine. But that's all you get. Like, you don't get anything else from behind it. Like,
All right. She'd take note of that, but not react to it in any way. She would just say, "Thank you for the duel. I needed something like that today, especially after the long trip we have ahead."
of course, it gets the blood pumping and the mind working.
She'll sheath her sword and say, "Shall we find Jurgen? I'm sure they're expecting us."
I'm sure they are. Of course, lead the way.
And then can you remind me how to say, is it Yinthar? Her god?
No, it's Jythar.
Jythar, sorry. Yeah, she would give a little like prayer to Jythar and like look up at the sun before heading back inside.
He kind of rights his hat from your little scuffle, and the two of you venture back inside. Where can they find Jurgen?
That's a good question. I feel like Jurgen's just kind of like out and about on it. They might just end up running into him just like Tilia did, honestly.
That's up to you. That's up to you two if that happens.
Yeah, at this point, there's multiple people that are just walking around and stuff. Again, Jurgen would have no idea where Dragona is because she was just out battling.
Yeah, I feel like we would definitely run into each other.
Heck, you know what? Actually, just considering the passing of time, I feel like walking around, Jurgen would have heard a bit of the not scuffle per se, but the sound of you guys fighting, and probably come in at like the very end of it.
Yeah, Dragona would just be like, speak of the devil.
He would look at you and say, how could you call me such a thing?
How Dragona would give a worried look and just, oh no, it's a term. It's a term.
He
We were
says, I
looking
know,
for
friend,
you.
I know.
Have you seen Tilia?
As a matter of fact, I have. She's been out running around for what appears to be a good chunk of the morning, just staying fit as possible. Looks like we're gonna be starting a new workout routine pretty soon.
Mm. You're gonna give a slightly worried, but like caring look, and just, I'll have to get a good breakfast in her before we leave.
Yeah, I think we should probably keep our eyes on her. I feel like she's not in the best place, but of course you were with her last night. You would know best. How was she?
You're gonna just give like a kind of concerned look, just shake her head a little bit. It'll take time.
It'll take time for everybody. So, how are you feeling about this trip?
So is Kazar also here and Masseray?
I'm assuming. Unless Kazar wanted to do his own thing, so.
Nope. I'm here.
Yeah, she would kind of like look at everyone, not wanting to express any sort of like doubt or anything, and just kind of put her hand on her sword hilt and just be ready for whatever comes.
I like to hear it.
Just don't pull me into any diplomacy or government things, and I'll be fine. Let me stick to my blade.
I feel from this point out, we should all be doing what it is we're best at. And yeah,
Yeah.
he would.
She would just nod in agreement and just. I think I should find Tilia before we leave.
Honestly, at this rate, I feel Tilia will probably find us. He would look down and say, "Man, I'm saying that a lot this morning."
Yeah.
He says she was just working on finishing up her workout, and then she was gonna go get herself ready for the day. I'm just letting everyone know that I'm getting ready to pack stuff onto the ship. I feel we should be leaving as soon as everybody's ready. It's gonna be, many days worth of journey. I feel like we should use as much of our time as we can.
She would nod in understanding and give a nod to Masseray and like hold out her hand to shake his hand.
Yeah, he takes it and he shakes it in.
She just she kind of clasps it kind of tightly and says, "Let's do this again."
Of course.
And then she walks off to go find Tilia.
We will. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, as she does walk away, Jurgen would go over to Masseray and also offer a hand and say, "You're a hell of a fighter there." I only caught the tail end of your battle, but you're not half bad.
He simply shrugs.
What a badass.
Right? Such a cool guy. Yeah, and we will close that scene there, and we'll go over to Z. What is Z up to? What's Z doing? What's the down low?
Sure. Z is trying to throw a knife into the wall of her room and then throw another one into the hilt of the knife. And I've just been trying to do that. That's my morning. Everyone
Yeah,
else is out
it's
talking.
like everybody else is doing stuff, and you're just like, I know I can do this. And the dagger is like clinking off of a stone wall. So it's like...
yeah, I've like managed to get it in between like the stone, but I can't get the second dagger into the hilt of the first one.
Yeah, it's in where like there would be some mortar, but it's been like completely removed by repeated like dagger hits. Like,
Yeah, because I have to do it both in a row. You know, I can't just like do it and then throw it in. It's got to be like boom, boom, and I can't do it. Tried all morning. Yeah.
that's just so funny to me. Just dink, 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 dink.
Ding, ding, again, over and over again, like hours. Yep. That's what Z's been doing for morning.
Well, when Z inevitably gets frustrated with that, what does she do?
I mean, everyone else is up pretty early, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of excitement around like the coming events, so that they're like, you know, everybody else is up about like getting a whole bunch of buzz.
What does Z do? I don't know, guys. What should Z do?
Good
Something.
question.
Something.
Stab some more knives.
Yeah, I just keep doing it.
I hate you.
I get up like I'm about to leave. I go to the door and I'm like, no, just one more try.
How about no?
Is that not entertaining enough?
Nope.
Let's see. Vapour's crying in her room. I'll go find a Nell. Let's continue that plot.
Oh, why did I even call on you?
I can go home. I can keep hitting knives into the wall. That is my second
No,
option.
we're seeing this through now. You
I
yeah.
didn't really want to do it either. You wouldn't let me just throw my knives into the wall for hours on end.
Yeah, I mean, because who does that, right?
Obviously, Z does that.
Yeah,
Robert.
obviously.
Well, Z isn't real, okay?
Exactly.
Exactly.
She's real to me, damn it.
She's an illusion.
She's real to me.
Z is an illusion, turns out.
Yeah. I haven't been real
Knew
to
it.
any of the characters in this game.
Yeah, you exit the castle, you go down to where the Aventi and some of the Darfel have kind of like made an impromptu encampment, and a whole lot of them are, you know, getting ready to go out with you guys. So there's a lot of hustle and bustle. Supplies are being packed up. Ships are being are getting allotted a certain amount of Aventi to kind of like take the place of manpower that the island just does not have.
Right.
You know. And you see her there shouting orders.
Oh yeah, great. Good timing. Forgot we were like preparing to go to war. Okay, I walk up, kind of cross my arms, give it like a glance, like I'm like overseeing whatever the fuck this is. Cause I guess, am I in charge of these people, or have I done? Like I have a crown on. I'm a little confused about like what my role is to the.
You I mean, yes, you're in charge, but also it's like these people have a certain amount of traditions, so it's also just like, imagine if overnight England was no longer a monarchy. Like people would be like, I don't care, I'm still gonna say God save the Queen, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So I've got to lead a revolution. That's fun.
so like you're in charge, but it's like you should delegate to people that they already see as authority figures.
Okay. I guess, yeah. I mean, I should probably do that too while I'm here. All right. Well, then I'll just walk up and ask her, how go the preparations?
Mostly smoothly. Some people left during the night.
To go where?
She shrugs. Could have gone home. Could have joined. You know.
What's the next step? I mean, you guys are here.
We will see it through. Those who leave have simply lost their place among us.
Well, I think if you want your people to survive, maybe we open them back. We welcome them back if they ever choose to come back.
If that is what you say.
You guys aren't very forgiving, are you?
We can adapt. But you have to understand, these people are used to a certain way of living. That, while circumstances have changed overnight, traditions won't. But those that stay are still loyal to you.
That includes you, and I'm gonna wink. Oh, first wink of the day, guys.
She goes, "Oh, not at all. I'm going to stab you the minute you turn your back."
Okay. I'll just have to keep looking at you then.
She gives you a wink.
Good. The wink contest back on.
Yes, yes. I'm not. I'm like out of ideas tonight. Absolutely brain dead. Too much potato.
Too much potato. Maybe video games are mind numbing. I just totally lost my train of thought, as if it was like even on the rails at all. Okay. Well, I guess things are looking good. Hope I don't offend anyone else's honor or break any more traditions and ruin all of your civilization today, but maybe tomorrow. And then I will wink and then back up, because obviously I'm not gonna take that turning back thing too seriously, but I don't take it entirely as a joke. So it's kind of a joke. But I do not turn around until she's out of sight.
She just kind of like watches you awkwardly, like scuttle backwards. Like
No. It's suaver than that. It's definitely like an intentional like challenge almost.
She just kind of like kicks some sand at you.
I wink and then eventually turn around and just like run away, like jog away back to the castle.
No, you said run first. That's...
No, but I meant jog. I'm not sprinting. It's like a like we've got shit to do today jog kind of thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, a power walk, if you will.
Sure. No, like a light jog.
A power jog.
A power jog. There we go. We've compromised.
Yeah. Okay, and I mean, I'm just going to assume that it means meeting up with Jurgen and everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of Jurgen and everybody else, Dragona, you find Tilia doing as she was whenever Jurgen first found her, though I assume probably towards the end of their routine.
Yeah, probably the cool down stretching portion of the morning workout.
Yeah. You have the floor.
Yeah, she would just, make her presence known and just see what Tilia was up to. You ready to go? You ready to travel?
Tilia will pop up from the ground from whatever the stretch he was doing and walk over to Dragona. Yeah, of course. I kind of lost track of time. Glad you came.
Dragona would just kind of give her a concerned look, just thinking of last night and how sad she was, and just look at her and be like, sure you're ready?
Oh, don't give me that look. This is the best thing for me right now. Keep the body busy, right?
She'll nod in agreement. Just it'll keep your mind off of things. She would just grab her backpack and her things and say, well, let's head off to meet the others then.
Yeah.
I packed extra snacks.
Yeah, Tilia will come up closer to you, give you a warm pat on the back between two giant muscly women. Yeah, thanks for taking care of me last night too.
Dragona would just embarrassingly just it was nothing. It's fine. Let's get going.
Race you there. And somehow still, Tilia has the energy to break off into a run.
Dragona's not meant for long distance running. Just so you would slowly just jog behind. Not expecting
Yeah,
to beat
none-
Tilia at all.
None of Dragona's workouts are cardio. It's all strength training. That's it.
Yeah,
You're like literally every gym bro.
got my gains, my protein powder, my dubby.
Hey, yeah, guys, stream sponsor, Dubby, use code CRACKDM, get 10% off your order, really help out the channel. That's it, that's the ad.
Dragona drinks dubby.
Yeah, all the characters in the game, they drink
Just
Dubby.
got one of them. There's
Oh.
no water in this world.
Quick segue, I actually did do carbonated Dubby recently, and it was fantastic.
Ooh.
I did the dragon fruit lemonade. I did put a little bit of sugar in it because the carbonation kind of it mellows out what little flavor there is with the dragon fruit already. So it just tastes kind of like a slightly carbonated light lemonade. So I added some sugar and it was awesome.
Yummy.
Yummy. Yummers.
Yummers.
Shut up, Anthony.
I'm feeling umptious.
Anyways, bye Dubby and
Yeah, and we're going to take our first break here. I'm going to give us about 10 minutes. And when we come back, we are just going to kind of hop forward a little bit.
Nice.
All right.
Sounds good.
Cool. BRB.
So 45.
And we are back from our break. Took a little bit longer, but here we are. Now, Jurgen, I know I said we were going to just kind of fast forward a little bit, but I felt like you had something you wanted to say to Masseray before I changed scenes.
No, not really.
Not really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just respected his fighting.
Okay, cool. This is the last call, right? If anybody wants to do anything specific before we
I would really
Take off.
like to try and nail that knife trick.
Nope.
Okay.
Anything but that. I'm gonna take that as a no.
I don't think so.
I think so.
Yeah, and well, okay. Important question: how many ships are you taking, Jurgen?
How many ships do we have?
That's a good question. Roll a d4.
Damn. Up to 4.
Hey, that's 4.
That's how many ships you have.
Okay, I'd say take 2, leave 2.
Seems fair.
And these are pirate ships similar to the Scorned Lady in size.
Wait, do we still have her?
No, she got burnt. She
Oh,
got burned
shit.
up in the Naga invasion. And since the island is currently lacking in manpower, a lot of the crew positions have been taken over by Aventi and Darfel, courtesy of Anel and Raoul.
I'd also like to have all of their like anyone that's not needed to man the ship. I'd like to direct them to be under the water, so that way it doesn't look like we're showing up with an army. Since we wanted to do a more diplomatic approach.
But
Okay.
The army's still there.
Well,
like
the
this
army is
idea.
still but the army is very much still there. They just can't see it.
Okay, they can't swim quite as fast as the ship can travel, but they will keep pace
Well,
as
I
much
guess
as they
maybe
can.
then before we get there, I'll have them go underwater. Like out of sight of the island. Trail behind.
There's not enough. Like, okay,
Well,
what are the
close.
logistics that you are thinking of? Because there's not enough room on the ships for all of them to fit on both.
Yeah, so I guess we just have maybe the ships go a little slower, or because like you said, there's not enough room for them all to fit on both. But we only are taking half of them anyways, because the rest are guarding the island. So maybe I don't know, we just have them lag behind. If we start shit, we have to wait for our army to get there.
I mean, that might be how you have to play it.
Yeah. I mean, we have enough manning the ship, so it's not like we're totally defenseless.
How many days behind would they be
They're pretty fast swimmers.
getting to Fellwood?
They're pretty fast. It's just like the ship can go like 300 feet around, whereas they can only go like 120. So if it takes you 2 days, it's going to take them 3 at the very least.
Oh, and they have to also sleep, don't they? The ship itself doesn't.
Yeah. So I would say a conservative 4 days.
Do you want to? I guess. Mhm. 4 days is a long time, but I guess that's.
I mean,
We probably don't want to wait to have them in position first.
Well, then maybe
because-
we go a little slower and we get there in 6 days, and they're only a little bit behind.
it'll only take you guys like 2 days to sail there. So
Yeah.
And we take 3, and they are half a day behind. Wait, no. Math is hard. We take 3, they take 1.5 days.
Oh, I see what you're doing. I was like, what is she talking about? You're saying
Like, we
we
go a
slow
little
down,
slow.
but they
Yeah.
go the same speed.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay.
I just wanted to establish that in case things did indeed go south, so I would know.
Yeah, so we're still going. We're just going. We're just purposefully going slow, so that they're closer when we get there.
I like this idea.
All right, and off we go.
And off go.
I have a good feeling about this one.
Maybe on the next island we send them ahead of time. Now that we know that's how the logistics work.
Because they can just camp out underwater.
Yeah, they're literally amphibious creatures. So
I will send them at least an hour ahead of us.
all right. Yeah, give me a Jurgen, I hope you're feeling lucky. Give me a D100 roll.
65.
Solid.
You pass for now. Yeah, not it. This trip is uneventful. You guys kind of fall back into the motions that you're used to, except of course, Jurgen is kind of in charge here, something that he is not used to. And yeah, like oddly, the seas are very calm. For once, there's no storm overhead. You're able to see the sun with very few clouds. And eventually you see Fellwood Fortress in the distance. How is everybody feeling?
Really frustrated that I can't get my 2 knives in the wall. I'll drop it.
You're on thin ice. You're
itching for a fight.
Just let me roll for it once, Robert.
No. You're going to perpetually fail until eventually you forget about this whole gag. And that is when it'll happen.
It'll be unfunny when you give it to me, when you just let me do it. Then the joke loses its funniness. Okay.
Well, I've heard from Z. What about the rest of you?
Tilia's itching for a fight. Like, I really hope that things go peaceful and that there's no fight. But also, she's got some stuff she's got to work out. And if she can do that to a bad guy, that's even better.
A question: is Andon with us?
That is a good question. Is he, Jurgen?
Yeah.
Damn, you made this poor man come with us.
At this point, I think he should be paying us.
Nobody's paid him at all. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, you guys are like, hey, you're coming. He's like, I don't want to. And you're like, you're going to.
I don't want to. I don't care.
Every time he says no, we go, remember, just naming stuff. It's like, fine.
Every time he doesn't want to, they stick Vapour on it.
What got you asking, Cassie?
Oh, I don't know. I was just wondering. I don't actually have anything I want to do there yet.
Yet. Yeah.
Actively ignoring him.
Okay. Without hearing from everybody else, will you sail on into port at Fellwood Fortress? The docks here are busy. There are. Their docks being undamaged are easily capable of dealing with, a handful of ships at a time, 5 to 10. Your ships showing up is really no problem. Would you guys just go straight to dock?
Oh wait, straight to dock. I would say so.
I mean, if we were to have a little boarding party, just to scope out who would we send.
Would this island be welcoming of us?
You don't know.
Maybe one ship goes into dock, the other sits and hangs out on the water.
I don't think that's a bad idea. Of course, it is only 2 ships.
Yeah.
I'd say we commit to it. Just
Yeah.
we'll bring everyone in, and at least if something happens, we'll have our whole force behind us.
So we went purposefully slow. How far behind is the army?
A day and a half.
Day and a half? Okay.
Okay.
Ultimately, you're the one calling the shots.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say we go ahead, take both ships in, into dock. I don't think that we should immediately go for the fortress and kind of state our intents before the army gets there. So,
Well,
Jurgen,
you're a baron, so
true. Jurgen would look around to everyone and say, "Everyone, we are approaching the docks now. It's important that we present ourselves as friendly as possible. Some of these people could be some of our future brothers, sisters. We should get to know them, see what this place is all about. We can figure out what their main resources are, because I don't think Jurgen would know that, considering he didn't know what is now the Stormy Isle. He didn't know what that was. Figure out their main resources, try and help out some of the locals. We can let them know who we are, but just sort of put our faces out there before anything. These are not our enemies yet, until they prove themselves to be. Unless they prove themselves to be. Sound like a plan?
Aye, aye.
Is there any sort of check we can do to see what we know about the Baron? whose name I forgot, because I'm not good at names.
The names are quite literally tied with
Justin.
the name of the island. So Fellwood Fortress would be Baron Fellwood. It changes literally every time Aaron takes over.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Is there some sort of like, I don't know, check we could do to see like what we know about him, what he might need, or motives, or like something like that? I don't know.
Yeah, knowledge local.
Cool, I have that one. Do.
With a 21,
Okay.
yeah, with a 21, you know, so like based on how the Isles are situated, they are very close to just the routes that the various continents trade from. So from Fall Hill to Idene, like that is by far the most profitable sea lane you could be on. But that runs through these center islands, Ilburn Castle, and then on through. So only people like super close to the center or like south or like the mouths of each crossing, so like you can see with the pointer that I'm using, really get money from that. Fellwood just so happens to be it along with what is now Stormy Isle, probably the worst position to capitalize on any of that because almost none of it is going to go up this way. It's going to go this way because there's faster routing through.
Okay.
So I'm
gonna tell the group we should focus on trade routes, and that would be a huge benefit of uniting the Isles.
Or point out like, hey, you're like we are in both of our castles are in a very like poor economic situation because of our position. So working together could maybe help that out.
Yeah, I will tell to the group.
Okay.
Well, Commonwealths aren't started in an evening, so it would make sense for to introduce himself, Baron to Baron, and begin talking.
I could agree with that. I do feel some should stay behind. Just gotta help do a little bit of research, I suppose. Is there anyone that would like to go talk to Fellwood with me?
I'm coming with you.
I am as well.
Well, those were...
If something goes awry, you'll need at least a little muscle behind your back.
I suppose I will go.
Are we all going? Or are we all staying? Or like, I guess I don't know if I would leave Vapour and I in charge of the ships.
Well, it wasn't so much the ships. Jurgen thinks it would be a good idea to talk to the locals and figure out as much information as possible while he talks to the higher ups, kind of get a full range of everything.
I mean, that's more or less what Z's check was.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
I mean, I can do another.
Nah, you're good. Well, in that case, feel free to come along. There's the ships.
Master is most definitely not going.
Fair enough. I don't think he should go, anyways.
Yeah, given his status, until you have an agreement, it's best he does not show his face. Anybody else staying? Ahem.
Him.
Whose name rhymes with snake?
I guess.
You're staying or going?
Staying.
Okay.
Dang.
Sorry, I truly was not paying attention.
Everyone
Wow.
else is going. Everyone else-
Yeah, everyone is currently going to the fortress to go talk with Fellwood.
Oh,
But
then I
you,
guess
can,
I'll
you
go.
can keep an eye on Masseray.
Yeah, I was offering to let people either go with me or stay behind, keep an eye on some of the crew that could possibly use a little extra guarding / figure out what all's going on around town.
Me as a player would not leave my character alone with other people right now without another party member present, so it's probably better I go with you.
Okay. In that case, Jurgen is going to look to Mamuto and say, my dear friend, you've stuck directly by my side this entire time, but would you do me the favor of staying and keeping an eye on the rest of the crew?
I can do that.
Much appreciated. Also, once things are back to calm and we have free time, I gotta talk to these other two people that I keep forgetting exist. It's pointed out all the time, and I'm like, oh yeah, there are others. I don't even know their names, but they were my friends back in the day. He says, keep him in line for me. And I guess Jurgen will go ahead and just, after giving a glance and a nod to the party here, start walking down the not the plank, but the thing that goes onto the dock off the ship.
Yes. Okay. In a less than grand procession, you walk down the gangplank and make your way to the large castle situated up on a hill. Similar to Stormy Isle, similar to all the other islands you've been on, the layouts are almost exactly the same. When you approach the gate and state who you are at first, there is a tense moment. You might be the new Baron of Stormy Isle, but you're still a herald.
And they know this?
It's been days.
So didn't we send out people to evangelize?
Yeah, you also did that. Like,
I just wasn't sure if they knew this.
They were the nearest island.
there's two islands right next to you.
West
Like,
to-
you send ships in all directions, bro. That's why there was none at home.
Yeah, okay. So they are aware of my status as both a Baron and a Herald.
Yes. Yeah, there's this tense moment where you're unsure what is going to happen when eventually you are indeed let inside. Baron Fellwood is not big and imposing in any way. He actually seems rather grandfatherly. He's got a white bushy beard, a equally white mustache, very grayed hair, and his pirating outfit is less than stellar. But, you know, initial perceptions, he seems like a cool guy. He walks with a cane, and he walks right up to you, Jurgen, and he kind of like points a bony finger at you. He says, "I admire a man who can walk into the lion's den."
Jurgen, despite having, a grander title at this point, he still wants to show respect, and so he gives the slightest bow towards Fellwood, and he says, "You have to be brave in times like these, don't you?"
True words, true words. What causes you to visit me in my humble abode?
Well, I thought, since I have recently taken over as Baron over at my Isles, that I should get to know my neighbors a bit more. Make sure to make some friends. I sent quite a few of my ships out recently, and it appears that word has already made its way here that I have taken over. But I found it better to come and introduce myself as well as my crew. My hope is that we can work very closely with each other in the future. Would you mind if we stayed for dinner tonight? I'd like to go over some stuff with you.
Well, I'll say you've got quite the set of stones, given your proclamation. Who am I to disrespect somebody with such courage?
Jurgen lets out a little bit of a chuckle and he says, I greatly appreciate that, sir.
Yes, of course, and I have a feeling you want to talk about more than a friendship.
More of a partnership.
There's the word. I knew this day would come.
I take it you weren't expecting it to be so soon.
I wasn't expecting it to be in my lifetime.
Well, before any details come out, what are your immediate thoughts? I feel I'm in no position to come out swinging with demands.
Hey, Zara, I want you to roll a knowledge religion check.
Okay. Knowledge, religion.
a sense motive on this guy? I mean, he seems pretty chill, but like, is he
Sure.
deceitful in any way?
Yeah.
or-
Yeah, can I sense motive also?
Yeah, sure. Anybody who wants to is free to.
Yeah, could Tilia make a jump check?
No.
Yeah, no, I think I have an art for that.
You can't tell one way or the other, Z.
Yeah, it's not helpful.
I'm a
I'll throw
pretty
my
bad
own
judge of
sense motive
character.
on top of there.
Dragona, you're like, this is a sweet old man.
Oh, okay.
I don't trust him.
No, I
um,
still don't trust him.
Kazar, so what you are witnessing is, with a 14, I'll give you this much, okay? So wild cards, when they really lean into their role, have an effect. It's basically part of the title. They change the game that is played. And you're witnessing that effect. Because
Alright.
Baron Fellwood smiles and he says, I think it's about time that something is made out of this place. And I am honored to be the first.
Jurgen, he goes from a slight smile to a big smile, which doesn't come out very often. Like you could see relief wash over him, and he says, "You have no idea how honored I am to have you on board, sir."
He just nods sagely. He says, Bellwood is yours.
He would let out a bit of a shocked laugh, and he says, "Well, I mean, if giving up your position is something that you wish to do, that's entirely your choice. But my proposition wasn't so much."
He says, I'm old. And I'm not long for the world. If you do not take it now, somebody else will, and they may not be as amenable as I. Take it while you can, boy. I'm going to retire. Probably sail back to Fall Hill.
You were gonna say take it.
I haven't seen a set of... never mind.
Jurgen would like look around the party, confused but like ecstatic at the same time, and he looks to me, just with sort of pure curiosity. He says, "What would you do with your retirement?"
Like I
Once you're
said,
back at Fall Hill.
well, probably find a nice gal and settle down.
Jurgen would again smile. This time, like it closes. It's just a cheeky smile, and he says, "Well, as one older man to another, I could tell you it is quite worth it once you find someone. Work hard not to let her go."
Now, I say this calls for a drink.
I agree. Allow me to introduce you to my friends here. And I guess as Fellwood is pouring drinks, he says, he starts making his way just from front to back. He says, "This right here is Tilia. She was She's one of the best captains I've ever seen. That I've got to see her work with all sorts of people, and she knows how to get a job done.
Well, that's one way to put it.
Then he moves on. This here is Dragona, and it's truly amazing how strong she is, both in body and in heart. She can absolutely lay somebody out and then immediately help them right back onto their feet, brush them off, and tell them good job.
Dragona's just gonna like blush slightly and just kind of brush it off.
Continuing moving back, says this here is Kazar. He has been beside me nearly this whole time. He's our guide. He's a mysterious fellow, but he's a good one. He's constantly watching out for us. And he's making sure we're on our proper paths. And then he gets back to the last two. He says, and these two here, they're our wild ones. This is Z. Yeah, like he puts out his right hand and she says, this is Z, and then his left, this is Vapour.
Give a polite
And
nod.
truly, I learn more and more about them each day. When we all first started on this journey, we had a bit of a rocky start to the relationship, but they have proven to be strong, worthy, incredibly talented friends. Of course, we have many, many more people out on the ships, but they can all be introduced in due time.
And the celebrations begin with the first successful diplomatic takeover of another island. However, here's what you don't see. Far away, across the Isles, on the other end, in the Teal Strait, Baron Teal sits on his throne, and he hears of the news of the Herald traveling to Fellwood and the Baron abdicating.
How in the world did he hear that so fast?
And it is delivered by not the man in the mask, but one of his kind. And that is where we end session.
Those bastards.